It's this candle we gotta watch right here. This new one.
Well, I think that might go down to 707, this new one, which should be fine because like we had resistance right there at 707.
Yeah. There's also a little pocket there.
Well, that's where the earlier they were drawing that the line at for.
Hmm.
But Nasi, you shorted off that top there, off of 744?
Did I?
No, 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 no. Sorry, I would call you Willie, but Banana C is typing in the futures trading chat. I nailed the top on this bullish trend day.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes, I do. Well, I do, but we're not working in the office right now. what's what's going on? Mhm. 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 Well, if it says if you did that, that is going to reset it back to like when you first bought it. So, well, it shouldn't take a lot of time, but it's going to wipe everything off of that computer because it's going to set it back to like when you set it back to the status of when you originally bought it. If I'm understanding what you're saying, um, normally that
Hey guys,
process
back in the
doesn't
saddle
take
here.
any more than
Hey, hey.
I would say maybe 30 minutes.
Let's see what's
So you
happened.
should
What have I missed?
say, but you should start
There was a
seeing
large
some
selling
progress as well.
105 or 104,
Yep. I see.
and I was like, all right, cool. This is what Magnum was talking
Is it
about.
making any
Yeah.
noise at all?
Let's
That's
try and play off this. And
So
there's
let's
been
just
nothing to
go
play off
on the Dell screen.
except for me getting in
Magnum.
and looking like it was about to skyrocket to the
See, now let me
fucking
know when it
moon,
goes, because normally you would see some
and
type
I
of
like
progress, whether
I was
it's
on
on
20 points,
at the bottom
or I was short 20
in
points,
the
and it went.
circle, just circling around, or just something. So at this point, what I would say is press and hold. Is this a laptop or desktop? Okay. Press and hold the power button until it turns off. Could take 5 to 10 seconds for that to happen. Go ahead and remove the USB drive and then restart it.
see what the VIX is showing us.
Doing well. How about you?
Uh-oh. We got put in a higher high on the VIX.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, yeah, all right, we're gonna short.
That's what I was about to
Nice,
say. Just take a look.
awesome.
That's pretty much all we can do right
Didn't work out for me.
now. I go up there
What
every
the
once in
ES
a
is
while,
doing
but
here.
not too often. Um, yeah,
Oh,
typically I only go up when I actually need to work
God.
on something.
That's a
Try to keep it
that's a pretty nasty sell-off right there, wasn't it?
as much as possible, I should say.
Wow.
Nope.
Well,
Well,
on the
I work from
ES,
home
Yeah.
a couple of days
I
a
haven't
week,
checked the
like
ES.
3 days a week. So
Yeah.
taking notes, it's
Almost
not
just
bad.
goes
I was in
right in
Detroit
line with what we were doing over there.
bought a
Where
house
this
not too
bounced
long
from, it
ago,
kind
so
of put in
it takes a while
a
to
lot
get
of
back to
volume
not
right
messing up.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be indicative of what we're looking for in terms of sellers being trapped. Because, I mean, you know, there was a lot of cats piled in right here, late to the move. I like that.
Okay. So yep.
We can get above that right there. That's pretty,
And so is it asking you to
that could be interesting.
is it asking you to insert a the thing now? The USB. Okay.
All right. So we got the ES under a little bit of pressure. We got the VIX made a higher high that made structure, right? Um, which made structure support, which is something pretty interesting.
It's good.
Does it respect it?
You know, we were both.
We'll see.
My wife and I were both raised in the city, so
Let's see what the YM's doing.
we were actually looking at.
YM come down. Okay, so it come up, hit resistance, come down, busted above it, come back down, and retested it.
And I could not deal with the
Where on earth would they be trapped sellers?
figured at least
Way up here.
Jonesboro, once I get on the expressway,
Mm.
you know, since it's 75, it's pretty much a straight.
That's what I'm saying. Like at like 104 and everything. It just like everyone decided to sell.
Damn, Bezos
June made 2 years.
scatter his stuff all over the atmosphere or what?
Yep. So I got
No,
Nope.
he turned back.
well, maybe 8 months of going back and forth.
All right, so we've got.
But like I say, that was still a couple of days a week anyway, where I was going into the office. But
We have got. So we got a zone there on the YM. Let's see what the RTY is. Oh, okay. Well, RTY looks a little more controlled. I don't know. That kind of looks flaggy to me. You know what I mean?
yeah, that sounds like it's.
It's crazy how every single one of them went down at 104.
It's pretty interesting.
Okay.
They lighten their loads.
Do you know?
I mean, that's a violent profit taking. For sure.
Like, was it Windows 10 or Windows 7? Do you know?
But it doesn't really fit the bill as profit taking. Being at the volume.
Okay, well, if it's
Being at the volume come in at the bottom, right? You want to see the volume come in at the top. Very similar to what you see right here. You know what I mean? That's profit taking.
Well,
This here might be a shakeout for weak hands. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Well, the VIX changed around the 103, 104 mark.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
I'm going to see how the VIX does right here. If it respects this structure, but if it makes a lower low in relative terms, then we have to disregard that. We would have to think that A, we're above pivots. B, selling took place at the wrong time. You know what I mean? You should see the volume come in up here, not down here. Seems like this was almost something to create an illusion and a trap to get people short, maybe back up into some resistance, only to break resistance and continue higher.
Well, if you look at the VIX, literally at 103, it turned pretty green and went up from 79 or 0.8 to 20.2. Right. In like a 5 minutes or 6 minutes. So it was on it had a strong uptrend for a little bit there.
Yeah.
And that's when everyone dumped, was literally at that, as soon as it hits that like 303, 304.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was almost 0.2 on the VIX.
Yep.
Maybe that's why they all, like the big people dropped. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe some of the big guys decided to let go of some of their positions.
Well, you would have had something that came with it. I don't know exactly what it means. Sometimes they'll provide a recovery disc. Sometimes it'll just be.
So there's probably a divergence that you're going to see right here, right? We rode the band down. There's probably a divergence right here, actually. And then we got back into the band, and then we pulled away from the band. Really didn't make a lower low much. In terms of closing price goes, we made a little bit of a lower low, but still, that's a pretty big divergence. They would probably show up on the 310 or something of that sort.
Well, no, not to do that
I don't know.
portion of it.
I'm gonna watch the structure right here to see if it respects it or not.
As far as actually,
I don't know. We didn't have a reason to bounce right there.
locally, so that
I don't see anything.
if it was online and something happened, then you likely
Was it a news?
Download the files or
Was
whatever.
it a what?
Was there news? I don't.
And it's not to say that that's not where it actually is, but it's I just don't think it would be.
Being at the top of the hour, it seems like it might have been news.
The only thing that I see that's close to that would be U.S. Fed accepts 848 billion in daily reverse repo operation.
Yeah, I don't have anything in terms of my news goes that I see that would be
But
indicative of
but they have been out of
like a complete change in
pretty
sentiment.
much non-supported for a while. I almost want to think that they stopped supporting that before they.
It's could have been one of them deals, man, where folks get shook out.
Yeah, because it would have been Windows 7, then Windows 8, then Windows 10.
I guess
And
for me, I'm going to pay attention to this structure, right?
oftentimes
Being that we come up, retested this little high,
but
and we made a higher high. I'm gonna see if this holds. If it holds,
to look at it, but
I'll look to exit my position on the NQ. Until then, I'm just gonna slide my stop up
at it for you.
to protect myself to.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt. It could be something simple, but again, I really wouldn't know until I actually, get my hands on
Because
it.
the you deleted the old line right there around like 707.
Yeah, we're making
Yep.
an indication that we might trap these sellers right here.
My schedule to see when a good day would be.
See how we got volume just dying off.
Yeah.
Just price climbing.
I'll take a look and see, and actually, it will probably, I'll say, probably be on the weekend, because then that way I don't have to worry about any traffic or trying to.
Dang, you didn't even respect that pocket really at 33, did it?
And I'll let you know for sure.
No, it blew past it to 45
Yeah, man.
Hold on a second.
or 44.
Get rid of that guy. So you got one at 769, and then my target was up here at 793. So
Okay, 7, 2,
I don't know. This may be the deal where we go up here and just range, for the rest of the day. Could
So
be.
like 440.
Send you a message.
Yeah, could just range.
Okay, you're welcome.
I mean, right? I mean, that's what we see a lot of times is we see an impulsive move up, and then some consolidation. So we very well could see some consolidation inside this up here. I would be back interested in it if we could really blast off from the top of this and then continue the grind, and we would know that this might have been a shakeout.
It shook me out.
Well, which one
Off.
are you talking about?
Yeah, they do that shit, man.
Oh, I thought you said
Bastards.
COVID shot.
Name of the game.
No, I don't know where you went.
I just how much are institutions making, dude?
Today, so I thought you talked about
Yeah, there's no telling, man. More than we can even mentally comprehend, It'd be enough to make you lose all faith in humanity.
Because you gotta think, right? Even if they do like 100K day and there's 100 different like big people out there.
They're doing 100K in a single move.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, I'm
Yeah.
just like you put that in perspective of just like 100 different companies making 100K a day easily off of just the market.
Yeah, I mean,
You're already looking at 10 million, and they're like,
they're 30, 50, 75 million a day.
yeah.
I mean, it's, 100 grand is peanuts to them. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it'd be enough for you to make you lose all faith in humanity. You really would.
Like, what do you? I like literally. You can give me probably like 1.2. I will invest most of it for long term, and I will be able to live off that for the rest of my life.
Keep on hurting me.
We're about to go down here and test this. Hmm. I got to figure out where it makes most sense to slide this stop up to where, you know, I'm not letting this guy run back on me.
There's a lot of support around the 7 to 3 level.
Yep.
So maybe just below that. Maybe a 700.
That might be too obvious.
This is so I'm looking at it from Elliott wave perspective. I think overall in 15 minute it just touched the tested the overall trend that we built for a few weeks since June, and it looks like it just completed a measured move up from the bottom, lows of 14,445, and it looks like it's shooting for a wave 5 down. And I have that measured at 150 points within the next few days, 160 points moving down.
Gotcha. So let's go put her around 540s. Kind of what you thinking?
If it's from
550s, 560s actually.
Yeah, so it will. I mean, depending on if wave 5 ends up being equal to wave 1, it's going to be 1.6. So it could be from 14,493 to, if it's a extended wave 5 of 1.6, it should be 14,300s. And that will be the 0.318 retracement, since we've had on this leg up since May 12th, when we had that double bottom nearly. So from May 12th, that will be the 0.31 retracement down to 14,300s. Right now, we're sitting at the 0.23, looking to retest, and that will be my wave 5 there.
Yeah. Hmm.
Hello. Hey, what's going on? Shit, doing good sitting here. Oh. Oh, nope.
Oh,
Oh.
oh yeah, check this out. This I was trying to figure out what the hell that box was there for, but I remember now. I set that box. So this is back to the whole like the end of the day deal.
Mhm.
If you're trading overnight stuff, let me get rid of these lines because it won't mess your eyes up.
Well, still doing good.
So we had that,
Right.
our closing volume at the end of the day right here.
Yeah, doing good.
Yep.
Just
All right.
just
So we had a big down day that day, right? So buyers piled in at the end of the evening, or maybe shorts covered, whatever. There was some buying at the lows of the day, in a downtrend, right? So mark that box up, and sure enough, um, which I didn't encapsulate the body, I just done the whole candle and spread it out, and price just come right back to it the following. You know, if you follow me, you know I've been following the 369 rule. You know what I mean? 369 during the days. Come right back into that box, and there's where the dump started. You know, it's just all stinking day long, basically. Pretty cool.
Which actually I should have had that.
And this was the closing, which I'm on a 5 minute, but basically the closing, right? The closing price, and then where the most volume was, if I was on a 1 minute chart, same deal, right? Price come up, retested, and then took off on the overnight session. You know, same thing happened this morning.
Hey, go back to the you said the price came up, but where it closed at where?
Yeah, let me go to a 1 minute chart, and I'll show you exactly what happened,
It's like the rest of them.
because that's what I drew it off of.
Well, all my chairs are doing that now. I tried that one, but it's messed up, so I can't even sit in.
See the body right there?
Yes.
See how price just come up,
Yep.
touched, took off.
Nice.
There's the overnight. All right, I gotta do something. Let's stop here. I can't let this shit go against me. I mean, it ain't gonna go against me, but it damn sure ain't gonna help me if I let it open up.
Oh no, I said it keeps you. It just keeps your stomach from being upset. It has a certain enzyme that absorbs the enzyme in milk or something, or in dairy. Just not. I think I'm lactose. That's not.
I got distracted. I was doing something on a 5 minute chart.
It's lactose.
Oh, okay, that's what I was trying to figure out.
You're saying I think I'm lactose, like you're saying I think I'm retarded. It's not just one word. Well, go ahead. Which you could be, but go ahead.
So really, this whole thing is his own. So yeah, buyers did come in and they just blew this thing down. I mean, sellers, sorry,
Yeah.
on the 5 minute chart,
Did you though?
but it didn't show up on the 1 minute chart.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to find a reason to move my stop. Closer and closer to price. I mean, I guess that's a pretty damn good reason.
Oh. Well, they are going to open it back up in September, but I was already working from home 3 days a week, so that's going to continue. Maybe even 5, because they're giving us 2 days now. Everybody is going to work from home on Friday.
I mean, the ES is not trying to trap not trying to trap buyers.
So even though
You know, I mean, that would be indicative of what you would try to see in maybe a downtrend. You know, in a trend change
those people who
would be you would see buyers starting to get trapped. Well, I mean, we're not seeing that yet.
working from home. But I'm like,
You know,
who's working from
nowhere right here am I seeing buyers getting trapped. I mean, that would have been any opportunity to trap a buyer, which they may have attempted, but it got bought right up, right? Right here would have been a tiny attempt, and maybe they attempted right here, but it got bought right back up.
They're just opening it back up.
I think this is going to be just indicative of a range from here.
Because they still can't have everybody in
unless I can see where buyers are getting trapped.
Maybe
Right here would be the only potential spot.
and then Group B goes in the next week.
We can see how it plays out. Oh, let me take that back.
Well, that part. Well, yeah, that part because that's company.
Buyers might have gotten trapped right there.
No, it's like a holiday. The holiday is mandatory now. You can still work if you want to, but you know you're not special or anything because it's a holiday. So
Buyer stepped in, maybe thought that was the bottom, only to realize that that might have been the top.
going to let you into the office if you need to go, but
Then they sold it against them.
otherwise they don't want you there.
Here would be the next spot.
They don't want you there.
See what to do with this price, this box.
We'll see what happens.
Let's go ahead and delete that one. I don't need it. See what you're doing on RT right here. So where could we attract buyers? Yeah, I see we made higher volume right here, so that wouldn't be a trap buyer. From what I'm seeing, YM seems to be the weakest at the moment. It's the only one that successfully trapped buyers. I don't see anybody else trap buyers yet.
Well, I don't know. Just say it's just scattered showers. So I don't know.
I really be surprised when they storm sometimes, like thunder and all that. I don't know why. I just be really surprised.
I don't know why.
It's like it doesn't really storm like that now. But I guess since hurricane season is around.
If anything, it seems like we're still trying to initiate trapping sellers.
Say that again.
I said.
Is there a channel through there at the I don't know how to use the channel tool,
Even listening to yourself.
like, or how to read it. But it
What are you
looks like
talking
there's a channel, like
about?
right through oh, that's on the ES on the 4320 downwards.
You know, like right. Okay, let me see what I've got here. I don't use channels. I don't even know how to draw this damn thing. Oh, see what I mean?
Yeah,
Kind of what you're thinking.
if you look at futures trading, that's kind of what I was thinking. I mean, it looks like it. Where are you at? Oh, sorry, I have to pick yours. Yeah, kind of what. Yeah, what I was thinking.
Yep.
But I don't know how to use them. But it looks like it's just in that channel. So
When you gonna give her her?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I mean, if if you're trying to trade a channel, right, you don't, if it's downward sloping, obviously you don't want to try to buy the bottom. You want to short the top,
But you work with her.
I know, but it's not equivalent, like you said.
So you talking about having her hang out?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I was about to say, like,
But I mean, I don't know how, it's tough for me to short this stinking move. Like, I don't know. Because, one could say this was the bottom of the range, you know? And again, you could say this is a head and shoulders.
where would the head and shoulders be at?
There's your shoulder, there's your head, there's your shoulder.
And then just drop.
Well, I mean, you would take whatever, that is. Then you would take it and put it down and say that's your target, 4303.
It matches up with earlier too, just before 12. Scroll back.
Yeah. Of course, my luck with Head and Shoulders is like next to none. So I don't know. I can't trade them for shit. Whatever way I'm trading the Head and Shoulders, take the other side of it and you'll win.
Yeah, most days, whatever side I'm trading, you can just take the other side and win.
Yeah. I'll tell you, man, it's there for a while. I was in a trance of just like that was all I seen was Head and Shoulders, and I was like, oh, couldn't get out.
No, I saw like I was like um cup in hand or like a cup pattern, and then it turned into a Head and Shoulders or inverse Head and Shoulders. I was like, I remember all I did was keep on seeing Head and Shoulders for the rest of the day. Like,
Horrible.
am I seeing it? I don't know anymore.
Yeah, it's horrible. So we have potential trap sellers right here.
I should have had to wait till you get your stuff.
I mean, we couldn't find no trap buyers, so I mean, we have to assume that there's going to be trap sellers, right? Especially after this move up, and maybe this is it. Maybe this is where we turn the corner and start to head back up.
One can dream, right?
Yeah, I mean, the NQ's holding up fairly well. There again, the YM is the only one that I've seen that successfully trapped any buyer, you know, and it was a weak attempt right here.
I think you did, but the season two is finally coming out.
I mean, we could see what happens when it gets up here to the top of this box. You have a lot of buyers that came in there. So it may hit the top of the box and roll back down, potentially. But as it stands right now, that is no longer a valid setup. Our setup was down here.
I think I quit on that.
So let me redraw that box.
That trading view, right?
Yeah, the platform, yeah. Yeah, that's trading view.
That's like a perfect example.
Is it not? It's beautiful, isn't it?
Looks like the ES just broke out of that channel.
Once I call it done, that's the end right there.
Oh,
Like with me with manifest, I'm trying to stick with it because everybody
If it gets on top of this box, man, the ES stands a good
It's just different than
chance to
trying, but it's like
make some serious hay right here.
where at?
then this new
Thinking.
show that Jasmine told
Well, I
me
mean, if it gets up here and shows 30, 43.20,
or something like that.
support on a back test with a rejection candle. Let's see what we got.
I'm trying. Just got it pushed through. That's what I told Jasmine the same thing.
43. I mean, you could go in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 contracts. Take one off at 43.26, 43.33, 43.40, 43.53, and 43.60. If it's squeezed.
So you would want to see it go up, come back down, reject.
Yeah, I'd want to see it. Let me get me an arrow. Yeah, I want to see it come up, go back down, reject off the top of that box with a rejection candle, and then obviously take
The
off.
moon.
Yep, that's the idea. But we need to start seeing this VIX make some lower lows if all that's going to take place.
Don't worry, I'll get right on that.
Yeah.
Because
Because right now, right? I mean, to that same degree, we can say, hey, this is a head and shoulders, or one in the making. But we have yet to make a lower low, which is concerning for what we're seeing. We want to see, we want to see a defined lower low and defined higher low. That'll give us a good indication of what we're doing here.
NQ finally broke out of that.
Yeah. Man, do y'all's hands ever cramp up using a mouse? Jesus.
I might try a vertical mouse, dude.
I think I need to get a bigger one or something. This one here is like keeping your hand in a fist like all day. Jesus.
Yeah, no, like vertical mouses keep it your hand sideways. Takes a little bit of getting used to from everyone that I've seen it. Or I mean, since you draw so much, yeah, I mean, you might just want to invest into a tablet since you're drawing on the graph so much.
Yeah.
You just like literally doom doom like a Cintiq, like a $100 Cintiq. That way you just use a pen and then just only need to zoom out with your mouse occasionally every so often.
I don't know. I don't guess I use a damn computer enough to worry about it, but I don't know.
All right, mystery. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, if we can get up here to 37.92, 7.93, we will be in good shape. I mean, fantastic shape. That'd be my last target. These last three have been hard to get rid of.
What were they from?
63, 75, 563.
Be right back.
VIX is just dumping. It ain't even trying to make a higher low at the moment. Oh, everything's just ripping right off the bottom, right off that. That's what happened. They shook them out, didn't they? They shook everybody out. And then they just said, see you later, fellas.
Jesus.
Yeah, they definitely, they definitely didn't play no games there.
I just find though, even though everything's kind of ripping, it's if you weren't in on that initial move, it's so hard to get in now.
Yeah.
It's just too scary.
Yeah, I mean, you really have to find, I mean, a spot where sellers were trapped. You know, there was some of these that you couldn't even find that. You know,
Well, and like the NQ is a great example because there's really no indication that it was going to take off or break out when it did.
well, the only indication you had was right here. You had sellers that were trapped, right? You had a lot of volume come in at the bottom, which told you some knuckleheads were piling in short right here. So you draw your box up, let it go up, but you didn't really get a good rejection candle off of it. Maybe you get a good rejection candle off this one where you've seen sellers pile in. Some more up in here.
Yeah.
But it takes some kahunas to buy up here with any kind of, you know, size. There again, you know, I mean, we still, you know, this thing could just sit here and range the rest of the day, you know, just kind of consolidate in, you know, I guess we could call it, does it, you know, the range. Hell of a range, but wait a minute, I was on the ES trying to tell you something, wasn't I? Oh, let me look. Yeah, they wasn't hardly a good spot there to buy on the NQ, man. Even off the top of the box, that's not a rejection candle at all. That's just a rip your face off move, is what that is. Painful.
Yeah, well, what the hell happened to the NQ?
What do you mean?
I wasn't looking at it for a little bit, and then come back.
Somebody said Rocky longed it. I don't know. No, I'm just bullshitting you, man. I don't know. It seems like everybody got shook out of some positions, and it just
Like I was on the ES chart trying to see if it's gonna bounce back and play off.
yeah, it looks like it's ready to play ball. Everything does right now. I mean, everything's prime, just rippish. So I mean, it's the same game now, right? Just we're looking for trap sellers, you know, at the bottom of pullbacks. You know, where do some guys make some mistakes, and where can we capitalize on them? Kind of the deal now.
Hold that. Barcoding.
And it's one thing though. You keep seeing these big bars come in like this long, or this big, up bar with volume coming in. It just makes me always think these things are going to get faded, and they typically do, which may often lead to an opportunity somewhere in, at the bottom of this pullback where some guys got long here, and they're like, oh, snap, it's going against me. Let me flip, go short. And then they go short down here. And then, you've got folks like us that are looking at it and about to rip their face off the other way. You know what I mean?
I mean, it looks like maybe some people were trapped at 149 on the ES. Not 100.
What time?
149. Yeah, you have it marked on the bottom.
Yeah, I've got it marked up. Mm-hmm. Yep. Once we made that lower low and we showed volume come in at that lower low, it kind of invalidates this box a little bit, even though we come up above it and kind of tested. But I would say we more tested that overnight. I mean, not overnight, that prior day's probably higher low. I don't know what that is. I think it's the prior day. Yeah. Yesterday's high. We've
And that,
more or less retested it than we did that box, to be honest with you. So we could just kind of delete that rascal. Because that's the one that mattered, really. Looks like NQ and the RTY are kind of trying to dance the same dance there in relation to the ES and YM. Let's see what the Hmm.
I'll give it to TradingView. Like the load times on are not that long when you're switching between.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean that's trading view, man. There's so I don't know. I think you just fall in love with whatever you get used to.
Well, I mean, I got started off of Thinkorswim. I mean, I like it for because I have like the visual code indicators like already coded in there for me for now if I could find those relatively easily on like TradingView or Tradeovate, I would easily, happily.
Yeah, the I don't know. Trader Baits. I mean, it's got its spot. There's not even nothing like Trading View or Thinkorswim or whatever. I mean, they're not even close there. But I don't know, man. I just like Trading View. I like
Do you
the.
look at TradingView and then you have to go over to Tradeovate, or can you do your buys through
Yeah, I mean, I
TradingView?
can't. The problem is if I try to do anything through Trading View because I'm trading on mobile, right?
Yeah.
Is there's this huge box that pops up right here, and it's got your P&L right here, and it takes up like an inch of screen space. So when I'm on a cell phone, that doesn't change. So my real estate's cut off. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
can't even see good, and it chases price. So I'm never really knowing what that candle looks like very well. So
So since you're on your computer right now, like, but you could still trade from TradingView
yeah, I could. I
on the
just need
computer.
to
Okay.
link my yeah, I just need to link my account to it.
Ah, okay. Who has the banana getting sucked on? BDAV?
Do what?
There's just like in the corner of my screen, because since I'm watching your screen, I just see someone with a female sucking on a banana. I'm like, who is that? Okay. Quite a few times, bouncing off 2050 on the EF. Like, it's consistently bouncing off 2050.
Yeah, that's yesterday's high. But yesterday's high was 2075. Well, we might get us. Man, I don't really look a good sell candle. It's just getting so hard to do stuff up here, man. It's just everybody's kind of scared to stay too long, and everybody's scared to short too much. You know what I mean?
I mean, actually, Wiku, I think it'd be more banana willies instead of banana bread trades.
Hmm.
If you look at what's it called, futures trading chat, Wiku or Weku was saying messaging banana trades or banana bread trades about BDAV, but it looks more like your girlfriend.
Wait, what? Are you talking about my profile picture or what?
Yeah, your profile picture.
The fuck? All stupid as well.
Wiku started it. I'm just saying. Banana bread is so lost. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
It's like you probably had other warnings that you ignored, and I guess when
It
the Holy
just
Spirit
if
gets
this rips on
put in
this
his mouth, like go get
candle
it.
right here, I'm swear to God, man,
It
it's
was on his, I think it was on his butt.
these shorts are getting
It was
punished.
like right on the part he sit on,
mm-hmm.
and he said he got shot in his butt.
Motherfuckers talking shit in here.
dog shit get hit?
I
No, so BDAV had like look at his profile picture.
I know. I love it.
So I was trying to figure out. I was like, what? Because I'm just watching. I'm watching Magnum, and then I just look down in the corner and I see that, and so we could messaged you about it.
No, no, I approve. I approve 100% of the profile pic. But no, not my girlfriend.
Oh, hell.
Why lie? I don't understand that part.
You trying to see if they're getting trapped right there, Magnum?
Yeah.
But he ain't never got better.
Right, I'm just saying. I mean, whether you
Yeah, but we made higher volume right here on this push up,
The same
to
reason
which
me,
kind of
it's
invalidated that,
they told him he had cancer.
to be honest with you. You want to
Don't
see
touch me no more. Don't touch me no
volume
more.
falling off. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and it's still going up.
You got it.
Let me go home.
I guess we just squeezing the
He
living heck out of everybody.
me tell him
That's for short. Or even thought about being short, just squeezing them just in case they decided to act on their thoughts. I don't know.
I acted on my thought and I got punished for it. So
he said, don't talk to me like this. He said, so what do you
way
want?
long ago, like an hour ago. All right. Note to self: never take trade when Magnum's not online.
Oh man.
that's not something
Hey,
you
you tried to go against my long here, man. What's going on
No,
with
no,
that?
no, 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 no. So, well, yeah, but
yeah,
Man,
if you
yeah,
go back to,
I'm in pain. I'm in
all right,
pain.
go back to like 107, right? So it just kept on dropping and dropping, and then it was even going below the 708 mark from earlier. So I was like, all right, let's get in on this. It's just gonna go
You
back
weren't
up a little bit.
you weren't this guy, was
No,
you?
no, no. Two over, two over, like that one.
That
Yeah.
one? Okay. That's a little better, man. I, c- I could understand that one. I was about to say, man, there's no way you were this guy.
And I'm sitting here like trying to zoom out on the chart and everything, and I look away for like 20 seconds, and then it's at the top of that, and I'm like, God damn it! I'm
Get
trying
you.
to figure out if it's gonna trick me or not.
That's that counter trend stuff, though, man. It'll get you.
I just opened up my chart and looks like I closed my 550 long a little early.
Uh,
Just a little bit.
I closed it at 600, took my bag and went on. Enjoyed my day. Still left it run, I guess.
yeah, that's still a good trade. I mean, heck, 100 points, man. You can't go wrong with that.
Uh,
That's been a sick day. I mean, that's been a ridiculous day. I kind of wish I hadn't have got shook out on my long from the 400s right here, but oh well. At least I caught right back in, so I didn't really miss much. I mean, I missed, from here to here,
just paying the entire time.
missed about 25 points, 30 points.
You feel bad, and then you better. Yeah, I'm saying, but then you better.
See, my last
Been
exit
all
was
good for 6 months.
7. Actually, no shit. Before that, hold up.
But
Yeah, 693.
through that constant, that
You're
constant.
long from 693.
No, no, no. Like that's when I got out, and then I went to buy back in. Like when I told you, and short it.
Yeah,
That's when I got punished.
yeah.
Never doubt Magnum again. I didn't doubt you. I just needed to take profits, to be honest.
There you go.
But then I was like, all right, Magnum's at lunch. He just talked about this great theory. Let's test it.
Yeah, if I was going to take a short right there, I would probably. I don't like taking a short. I'll show you how I would have probably took it short if there was a short to take. So you see that high? I'd let that come down, and I would probably take that first pullback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A short here. Yeah, that's probably how I would have shorted it if I was going to short it. That doesn't really constitute as a pullback, actually.
Then yeah, they've already seen that. So
But hell, you never know. You know what I mean? That thing could have died a horrible death right there, too.
I was thinking all gloom and doom because Anon.
Gloom and doom.
I was thinking that. I was like, all right, it's time for the reversal. Thinking about bop it, twist it, pull it, reverse, reverse.
So if you also pay attention to these lines that I was telling you about earlier, they're really close and condensed, which is very indicative of just a trending day all day long. So that's what you would expect to see, just kind of a move that just slow, grinding, boring, nothing to do move.
My chart on Tradeovate is not showing on the right hand side the amount of buys and sells that people are doing.
Your Dom is off.
Yeah, on my Dom. Yeah, my Dom on the like you see if on King of Time just posted in futures trading, so it's showing.
would have put it off for a while, but not.
Oh no, the far right hand side, not so like the overall trades for that day.
Oh, your time and sales.
Yeah, just not showing at all.
I mean, even shit, if I have,
Banana bread. We can't mention John Cena right now.
I deal with it for a minute, but
It's not like you can see him see him anyways.
I mean, he's just gonna apologize to us. That's all. I mean, I like him as an actor. I like him as a like, but I just don't like how he just like apologized to China in regards to saying that Taiwan was a country, just so that way they didn't lose money out for his move for their movie.
Oh, I could care less.
No, I mean like everything that's happening in Taiwan. They're like, all right, I'm sorry, and he did it in Mandarin. He was like, I'm sorry that I called Taiwan a country. Uh, because the whole like discrepancy between China saying it's part of their territory and Taiwan's like, no, we're not,
Yeah.
and the best comments were like, I finally know a muscle that's bigger than I finally have a muscle that's bigger than John Cena, my spine. I died on some of those comments that people were making.
Hey Mag.
Hey.
About 30 minutes after the open, you called today an uptrend day. What were you looking at that made you decide that it was an uptrend day?
Oh, we were just
I remember I was sitting here listening, and you called it, and I just went ahead with my trade plan and got out. But then it looks like you were actually spot on. It was super solid uptrend day.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, part of it come from the way we opened the overnight session and just kind of stayed above today's pivot, right? So these this blue line, these two blue lines and the pink lines desired to be a pivot. And anytime they become condensed, then you could expect that to be more of a trending day, whether it be via up or down. You know what I mean? And given how we opened up on yesterday's session or yesterday's close and opened to the overnight session and stayed, we were above the pivot and I figured we'd come back down and test the pivot and take off. And, that's kind of what happened. It went a little bit below it. And come back up and showed it to be support and off to the races she goes.
Makes sense.
I wish it was a lot more complex than that, but that's pretty much it.
So the more simple, the better, because then it's less to overlook.
Oh yeah, that's right, man. And and I guess you can kind of confirm that move by who's getting trapped. Are the buyers or selling getting trapped? And if you see the sellers getting trapped and not the buyers, then you know that the move is up for the day. It's not down.
The space is not big enough for you to be smart, sitting on another place with your phone.
I'm just trying to get out of these last daggum three.
Don't be scared to tell
It's
people.
been a daggum day. I've held on these things all morning long, all day long.
You need a toothbrush? You need some mouthwash.
What's your target?
To brush your teeth.
I had 92, 3 up here. 793 for target.
Oh, so you're close.
Yeah, I'm not too far away.
You get that when you got free. Just in case. I'm just saying.
I think I'm gonna move my stop up though. And just keep chasing price.
Well, you had your stop at like 700, right? Or just below 700,
Yep. Yeah, I think I'm gonna move it up here to
like 724 or right around there.
740-ish.
Ah.
I don't want to give this thing too much room. I mean, it needs to work or just die. One. I mean, I assumed that we would already entered a chop. You know what I mean? And I would have tried to sell at the top of the range on that chop, but this thing just decided to squeeze a little bit more. But I mean, the VIX definitely made a lower high, lower low.
I want to see some of that.
See if we can figure out who's getting trapped and where are they getting trapped at. Ooh, looks like the YM. Set stage right there. I mean, you don't see these sellers stepping in down here on the stuff, so I mean, this could be a turning point.
I think it's right back at where all the sellers got trapped at a little bit ago. 750, or sorry, at 1212, 1211. Yeah, that one right there.
Yeah. I believe I'd be okay if it stopped me out, to be honest with you.
You're like, I want to go do something.
I,
I don't
It's just-
want more money. I want to do shit.
it's just got to a point where it's like, some of this stuff ain't hardly making no sense. I mean, like you see these impulse buyers that's coming in, it's like, why are y'all buying right here? And why is that so much more in terms of relative volume? Is everybody FOMOing in here? This late in the day? That seems crazy to me.
Oh, you tripping.
Draw a fib from the beginning of the downtrend or the down move. We're pretty close to that 62% level.
Are you talking about pulling a fib? Where are you talking about pulling a fib from?
On the fib from 996 all the way down to the bottom at 445.
0.6 is at 81.
Yeah, like 84-ish, 784.
Hey
Oh,
Magnum, what was the unlock for you instead of chasing 5 to 10 points a trade to being able to swing? Like, at what point in your trading career did what was that unlock for you? I think that's where I'm having difficulty with smaller trades and not seeing the bigger picture once in a while.
um, it's a good question. A lot of it was stemmed from, seeing the bigger moves that I would see every day and just not being able to capitalize on them and having to be right so many times, you know what I mean? And versus having to be right, just a few times. Um, it allowed me to get more confident in what I was doing. I didn't have to think as quick. I could just kind of sit back and create my plan and then just trade my plan. That's what it boiled down to being. Um, just being exhausted, type of stuff was just, you're just watching the market all the time and you're just constantly, looking for a setup. You're not able to just monitor your setup. It's a whole different mentality there. Um, and just getting comfortable with my own ability. Um, you know, that's and the only thing that I can tell you that helped me with that was just time. It probably took me a lot longer than it took everybody. It would take most folks, I guess is the best way to put that. Um, but I was just too stubborn to give up. You know, so I just kept digging, and it just took time for me. Time. Getting my tail kicked over and over and over, and finally I got it.
Now, did you like you're talking about getting your tail kicked, right? Well, were you like doing lots of losing days or losing most of your account and then climbing back, or were you just depositing more in there to be able to try and win back some?
I mean, I was pretty consistent. It's just, you take 5 winners, out, so there's always one or two big moves a day, at least one, typically. Whether it be 50 points or whether it be 100 points, and how much of that can you capture? Um, Initially, I was just scalping from level to level, and I broke my levels up. Like for instance, the NQ here would be. I'm out, by the way, guys. I'm flat. I got stopped out on this move down. Um, but it I would trade these 13.75 levels from level to level, and I'd be right on 4 or 5 of them a day. Well, you know that's 50 points, probably 60 points, whatever it was. But I would see 100-point move, so I missed out on half the mood and had to work twice as hard. Um, you know, and then I would also, probably get stopped out on maybe two of them. So realistically, I'd probably end up the day with 30 points in my pocket. Using size, 30 points is still a pretty good bit. But over and over and over, um, I just found it to be easier to hold on to it for size, just for points and try to be right about that one big move. You know what I mean? Or at least put myself in position to where if I'm wrong about that move, I can reverse my idea and be right about it the other direction, right? So at every single day, so when I start the market every single day, when I look at it, say the market don't exist, say this is what I see, right? Say this is the start of 6 o'clock in the morning. I draw the market with just like a crayon, you know what I mean? Just draw it. What I think is going to happen by looking at levels. Um, and I draw it for an uptrend, and I draw it for a downtrend, and then I draw it for a sideways market. And that way, if I take a stab long and I'm wrong, I know I need to flip the script and try to go short. Well, if the short is wrong, I flip the script and go long to what I thought was the long of the day. You know what I mean? And that helped me a lot. You know, can I draw the market the next day? No, not really. I can be right about it, some of it, but I can't be right about all of it. And it just gives me a more confidence going in there, knowing where things are likely to happen at. You know what I mean? That's all.
Did you have to change anything when you were doing the combines or trading for Top Step? Because of their risk parameters, like that's what's kind of throwing me off, finding the balance between what Top Step's expectation is and my style. I trade 15-minute charts, and for 150K combine, that would mean risk parameters around one or two lots. So, and that's where scalping kind of gets me in trouble.
Yep. Like for instance, that's kind of why I come up with this idea, yeah, as the combine killer, right? I mean, two contracts. If you were trading on the NQ, three contracts. I don't know if you're what size of counter are you on?
150.
A 150. I think that one's got a $9,000 profit target. I think that's
Yeah.
what it is. Okay. So $9,000, you almost could have passed that combine with three contracts in this one move, one day, and had very little risk on the table. I mean, you can afford that kind of drawdown on three contracts on a 150K account.
Yeah, I was long all the way down from yesterday's low, 460s, and then I kept switching my positions, trying to scalp those little pullbacks. And it's like you said, it's the mentality and seeing the bigger picture aspect of it.
You just got to know that you're going to make a hell of a lot more money if you buy here and sell up here than if you're going to buy. Say you're going to be a scalping machine, right? All right, you're gonna buy this flag. You'll scalp it up to here, reverse your position. Maybe you scalp it to here if you're lucky, and don't get stopped out, break even. You know what I mean? But just say you played every one of them flags. You know what I mean? Yeah, you made a little bit of money, but at the end of the day, you missed out on a shit ton of money too. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna get stopped out somewhere up through here. You know what I mean? Especially when it gets in some of these choppy little areas. You know what I'm saying? If you're keeping your risk in check, because if you're scalping, you obviously got to use size, so you can't let this thing go against you too much. So you're pulling your stops up to break even as quick as you can. That's all. It's just scalping. You can do it, but you better be good. And this, you can be not as good and still make more money. You know what I mean? That makes sense.
Yeah, it's a perspective change. Definitely working on that. Thanks, man.
No problem, bro.
How was everything during like when COVID was out last year? So like when everything was tanking, how'd you do there?
I didn't do. I mean, I was just trading small then. I mean, I'd done pretty good, but I was just trading small. I didn't. It wasn't like I was doing very, very, doing huge size. Like I was telling everybody else before. I mean, you know, I just been ramping into the personal account. Whatever I just rebalance every single week of what I made last week and roll it into how many contracts can I trade this week, and then next week I'm gonna roll this profits in from this week and roll it into, maybe trading blocks of 5 next week. You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll just see.
When are you putting in the blocks in? Are you doing like, all right, I'm doing a block of 5 now, a block of 5 now, and a block of 5 now all at the same time? Are you like, okay, since it's moving towards this direction, I'll buy another bot, like another 5, and then it's still going up, I'll buy another 5, and then I'll just exit out slowly on the uptrend?
So I mean, I've got an area, just like what I just showed you.
Well, so like because this morning, right? You got out and it was going the opposite way for a second there, like down at like 15 or like 520. And then so when you got back in, did you instantly buy 15, or did you're like all right, 5 here, 5 here, 5 here?
Yeah, no. So I've been trading blocks of 3, so it's
okay, 3.
Yeah, so blocks of 3. But I mean, I'd like to get to where I can scale in blocks of 5, but 5's pushing it because of the slippage aspect. I may just need to add a block of 3. 3 seems to be the magic number for NQ right now. But anyhow, so for instance, getting long right up in here, come down, it tagged it on a rejection candle. I got long, 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 all the way down into this pivot, right? We come back up and we just come back straight back down. And I was starting to get worried about size on this one right here. And so I took some size off right here, right? And then as it rolled back down, we held because I was looking at this big volume bar over here, right there, and said, okay, we're probably going to hold. So I added 3, 3, and 3 up through here on this green candle. And then just been holding ever since. So I got rid of somewhere right in there for break evens, right in here.
Interesting.
Well, lots of times I'll like buy a candle up. You know what I mean? Like on this rejection candle or whatever. I mean, it's on this next rejection candle or whatever. If this thing rejected and we come back down, I'll buy from the top of this box up this candle. You know what I mean? Kind of have to because I got size. You know what I mean? I can't just market order that many contracts in. Otherwise, there's no telling what price I get filled at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, if I'm only trading 2 contracts, yeah, I'd probably just put 2 limit orders right here and just be good. You know what I mean? They was trapped. It was somewhere I seen that just a second ago. I was gonna check it out real quick. Okay, there's trapped sellers. See if it respects that.
And the positive aspect of them being trapped is like, okay, they kind of know they're trapped, so when it hits back down onto that box, they're gonna buy, which is then in turn gonna boost it up, right? Is
You
that
got it?
all right? I know I'm the only one talking, but I feel like you need someone to interact with you and ask questions.
That's going through the day here, man. Pretty wild day.
I mean, I can make tractor jokes again.
I have nothing to say, so I just listen.
Your mouth is full of a banana, that's why.
Yeah, exactly.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
It's been a crazy one.
All I can say is I'm glad happy I closed all those NDX and QQQ puts yesterday at the lows and not right now.
Man, you ain't kidding.
I think that would be pretty shitty right now.
You would have had Lord, you would have had peanuts on compare. You know what I mean? You wouldn't have had nothing.
I would have been negative, right? Would have been negative by now because the volatility would have caused them to, and the extreme moves, right? This would have, along with theta decay, would have caused it to be not so much of a fun trade anymore.
That would have been painful.
Yeah, I mean, closing yesterday at rate at 9:35 or rate at 9:35, 9:40 time, right at pretty much the lows of the day, was the ticket there, and then it rallied at the end and kind of fluttered around overnight, and then look what it did today, and then that level that I don't know who this guy is, Banana Nancy.
Oh, Faceless. That's it. Yeah, his name used to be Faceless.
Oh,
Nachi?
Yeah,
Bonacci,
Bonacci or some shit.
Banana Nana, Faceless, whatever. So
Yeah.
why did he change his name?
Because everyone was doing the banana thing.
All
And
right,
he's
well,
Mr. Fibonacci, so he's like had to twist it up a little, you know.
so I don't know how he figured out that level that he bought at, but the only way that I saw the confluence there was at the very end of the day, there was those kind of sideways action where we push up, then get rejected, and come down low a days, and then push back up, get rejected, and come back down low a days. And if you drew that trend line over, it pretty much bounced from that point almost identically. I mean, he was in at 22, 15, 14, 5, 22, and it looks like he's still in it. I mean, he
Well,
was up
I think
out
I think
six.
Faceless was in here when Magnum was in here, and then Magnum was like, "I'm going in," and I think a lot of people went in right there because I went in. I was like, "Magnum's not even," and I think like everyone went in right there.
So the I mean, what he bought at 22, right? So he bought 2 points.
Above the
Well,
lowest.
almost 2 points. It's more like the lowest of the day was 16.75, but whatever, 5 points, right? But almost at the low of the day. So, I was watching and the market opened up strong, and then it kind of looked like it did like that flush down and then popped back up and fluttered. So I wasn't really sure, but the internals were pretty strong from the open and stayed strong all day long. So anyone that's still long, I mean, as long as you're trailing stop, you probably have quite the profit there.
Magnum.
Yo,
Uh, God damn, Magnum.
sick.
Bro, do you realize that literally 4 days of trading, you're over 110K?
Oh yeah, man. Very aware.
Wow, dude.
Absolutely. It's been a hell of a run, man. It's been a hell of a run these past 3 weeks actually been a hell of a run.
What are you doing? 10 lots Magnum?
Sometimes I mean it just depends. I'm doing three. I'm trading 3 blocks, so typically anywhere from depending on the circumstances. I'm trading 6, 9, 12, 15, and I have traded 18.
Yeah, the
Spin.
most I was ever in with the minis was 15 or 20, something like that. That was just too much sweaty. Too sweaty for me.
It can get wild.
Well, the problem is when you're in that long, even if you're up 10 or 20 points, like the money aspect gets to be, pretty drastic, right? So every point move higher or lower is quite significant. So then you're at a point where you want to hold for the bigger move, but you kind of get like psyched out. So I try to stay smaller on the minis, but on the micros, I don't mind going like 30, 40 micros, right? Because that's only 3 or 4 minis.
It the biggest thing for me, man, and the only thing that keeps all this in check for me is just thinking about the farm. That big number because yeah, I know this is a shit ton of money, and I'm not trying to say that it ain't, but in relation to it really ain't. It's a step in the right direction, but it takes a hell of a lot of these days, because I mean the way I think of it is if I have a $50,000 day, if I have a $20,000 day, I had a 25 and a $10,000 day. You know what I mean? I have to kind of cut it in half and then think of it as I only have half.
Yeah, because you're gonna have to give it up, right? You're gonna have to give
Right.
some of it up to the big man.
You got it. And it's so I have to constantly remind myself of this kind of stuff. It's tough to it's tough to put the numbers part together. Um, but I tried to quit worrying about the numbers quite as much. I mean, it's exciting to see that kind of a number, and it's really exciting that all you guys got to witness it today, like live, right? Everybody was here. and seen every piece of it. But yeah, I just got to keep it all in focus. Got to keep it all in check of what it's all for, and
So I kind of
rebalance
getting
next week.
I kind of get what you're doing here, where you're drawing like zones, and then you wait for the retest of the zone, and then it looks like you're buying as it breaks back out again. Is that
Yeah, well,
approximately what you're doing?
so the idea is like if you've got let me delete this thing right here. Don't worry about that line there. That's just a pocket. But so you had a pullback, and you want to see volume at the bottom increase on a big volume bar. And what that lets you know is smart money decided to start selling here. And as the move continued, dumb money started to pile in, right? And which increased the amount of volume down here at the bottom, where normally you see rookie traders or you see people buying, trying to sell this bottom. You know what I mean? Only to see price get ripped away from them. So I box that candle, that body out of the candle, and then I wait for price to go above it and pull back into it with a rejection candle off of it. And what that does is trap these sellers that were down here, right? So you got new buyers have come in, and now you've got these guys stuck in a position that are going to have to reverse their position and long back in. So you've got a short squeeze on top of the new buyers. You know what I mean? And that's the idea.
So you're
It's just
buy
you're
so
taking advantage of these guys that sold the bottom, and then conversely, right? This thing works in a downtrend just the same way. You would want to see that pullback and buyers step in at the top, and then you sell it right into their face, and then you know they're upside down. You know where buyers are trapped in a downtrend is all it is.
All right, so scrolling back to 14725, where you have the larger zone there, where I'm assuming you tried to buy three separate times in there. If
Where you at?
14715 to 14725, there's to your left there, around 1315 to 1400.
Okay, 15, 14.
So you get the
right here.
flush. So you have your zone, right? And then you
Mhm.
have pushes through, comes back, gets rejected, and then comes right back in and does it two more times before actually breaking out. Or were you already long way before that?
Yeah, I was long at the opening of the day today. I was long right off the open. So the way that you would have played this, right, is you seen sellers were trapped right here, or sales come in basically at the bottom. Well, this zone just defined a zone, and we never got a good rejection candle except right here. You could have bought off this top of this, but you most likely would have got stopped out right here
Yep.
because you wouldn't have wanted to take that much. 15 points of drawdown, that's a lot. So you'd look and just find another spot where a rejection candle hit. You potentially could have got stopped out right here. But you didn't get a rejection candle here. So there was really no good setup off the top of this box. The only good setup you had was over here off the top of this box, which it didn't really get into the box, but come close. But that would have been your rejection candle. But there again, the later you get in the day of these moves, the less perfect they become. You know what I mean? Because you've got sales that are scared to sell, and you've got buyers that are willing or that are scared to buy. You know what I mean? So everything's getting kind of ugly up here, so to
Yeah,
speak. You know what I
the
mean?
chart breaks down, right?
Correct. Yeah. It's down here where everything, early in the morning where people, you know, people have a desire and have a direction planned, right? Is basically what it is. And so you get these real clean moves, you know what I mean, off of these levels. And then as you go later on in the day, you know, where all the money's already been made, now you've got this shit going on, and it's just, it's hard to trade this and keep risk in check.
Yeah, that's just it's a top distribution, right?
Yeah,
where buyers are distributing their share, their contracts, and sellers are potentially absorbing those, right?
absolutely.
So I got long at 14,585. So that was at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
You got long off this candle?
Hold on. Yes, I actually 485 though I was in.
Oh,
So
485.
no, no, I'm sorry, that's wrong. 585. I'm looking at a 2-minute chart. That's why mine looks a little different than yours. But yes, 85 right there.
Yeah, you would have got it on this candle. Nice.
Yep.
Nice. That's slick. Yeah, you got in I mean, I was long from 40.64. I think I got long in this mess. I got long off the top of this and then ended up watching this thing get crazy and had to end up selling a couple of them and reduce my size and then watched it come back down into this candle and
Magnum
then
base. Sorry, go ahead.
and then had to buy it up back up and through this deal right here.
So based off of your logic, right? So if you're doing like a sideways day, right? And there's no money that's been really made, it's been trending sideways. Where like where would you try and go in? Um, like is there a time frame that you were like you look at like okay, I know roughly since everyone comes back from lunch and everyone wants to make money in one way or another, they're either going to sell or they're buy or
So yeah, the days where the market don't move really any direction, it'll pick a range. And honestly, what you'd see is these three lines right here kind of separated, and that indicates some type of a reversal deal. So
would
you
they
would
be separated a lot?
well, they'd be separated in contrast. Let me show you. You see how these three are separated
Yeah.
in contrast to these. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you would know this is a reversal type of day. You know what I mean? You could look to trade from the top of this range down to this range, or if it was in between this range and that range, then maybe you know you sell the top and buy the bottom type of stuff. You know what I mean? Keep your wrist tight. Um, and don't be afraid to maybe stop to break even. And those are the types of days where I personally end up with about 5 or 6 break evens, maybe one stop loss and one from the top of the range to the bottom of the range. So I mean, I might make some money, but I ain't gonna make a lot of money. Um, I just don't do sideways market
Yeah, because
very well. I don't know how to. I
you're
don't know
trading
how
with
to pivot that well. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I can trade these good, but and I can trade down day good. It's just these sideways markets, man. It's cheaper for me to sit on my hands.
yeah. I do a similar thing. I use the market internals to kind of gauge how the day is going to progress, right? If you have disconnects between the indices, right, where the Dow's up, but the S&P and the Nasdaq are down, or whatever combination you want to come with, those typically indicate that the day is going to be a choppy one, right? Where breakouts will be less likely to happen to the down and upside. You're more likely playing a support bounce or resistance rejection with a stop loss and trying to play a range, right? And if you're wrong, you're wrong. But if you're right, you're going to get the move. Where your trades seem to flourish when you've got a overall market direction up because you're holding, right? You're
Yeah,
not taking the 10 to 20 points and then calling a day and looking for a reentry. You're holding for 100 points, 200 points, right? And even though you have size where you're up to 10 contracts, it doesn't matter, right? 100 points is 100 points.
that's it. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's it. I mean, I'm holding for the bigger move. I mean, I'm trying to get that one big move of the day correct. That's it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I see exactly what you're trying to do with that. I just waited a little longer just for confirmation, right? I wanted to see how it did when it tested the, overnight high zone there, and I wanted to see how the market internals um or overnight like just zones, and I want to see how the market internals held up at that point before I stepped in. This morning I'm sure people were having fun watching the market rip around like a lunatic, but I sat on my hands and waited.
Yeah, this morning I was a little concerned. I mean, the
Yeah,
ES played out perfectly. Like I was thought I chose the wrong product to trade because the ES worked just like it should, right? I mean,
yep. Yeah, I heard you. I was listening to you the whole
oh,
time.
okay. Yeah, I was
Um,
just like, damn
so
it, man, I
that's
chose the
so
wrong
that's
deal.
so that's why I waited, right? Because the ES was immediately trending, right? The
Yep.
ES farted around for 5 minutes and then started a trend, where the Nasdaq took almost an hour,
Yep.
right? So I was like, let's see what these market internals do if they start to tick up here, and then they started to tick up, and then I kept watching VIX slowly bleed to death, and then I was watching the TLTs that uh, those turned over as well. So you know you had people retreating out of 20-year bonds, and you had the VIX, the volatility index, decreasing, and you had a confluence across the three major indices. I don't pay attention to the Russell because it makes up for such a small portion of the overall market, but uh, you know that's why I waited.
That's it, man. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's a good conservative approach that keeps you out of a hell of a lot of trouble. You know what I mean?
I
Um,
mean, I added to my TLT at the kind of near at the highs of the session. My puts there, so I have September TLT puts to hedge against my my account, right? So if the market pushes up, I'll make money there while the bonds push down, right? Because as market climbs higher, bonds typically sell off. Where market goes lower, bonds typically go the other way.
couldn't see anything wrong with that. I think that's fantastic. Fantastic approach.
Yep. Gotta. I just take small size when I do that stuff, though. I always start small and then work my way into the trade. And then if I see it just not working, usually like when you see a 50% down, like you're 50% down on the position, and it just the market just keeps on chugging along, you just cut it, right?
Yeah.
Cut it and look for a re-entry, because you're not looking to make accounts with that stuff. You're just looking to capture gains against your longer term holds.
Yeah, and I mean, you really have to be so good to wiggle yourself in. Not only do you have a direction requirement for you to make money, you have a time component that you have to worry about to be right. And you know, is there so many things that you have to worry about, and it's I mean, it's an incredible feat to do that successfully.
You got to be patient, right? Everyone's
Shit,
so
man,
eager to
I,
trade. They want to make money, but you got to be patient. And I always start real small with hedges, like one contract, right? And I'm not buying next week's expiration. I'm buying 2, 3 a month, 2 months out, because I know the market will take time before it makes up its decision. And then when you start to see it kind of leveling out, you're approaching your time, right? You either decide, do I continue to make this position, hold this position, or do I cut it, or do I add to it? And like I was actually long coin Coinbase, because what you were seeing is if the market would be start to sell off, I would make money on my hedges, and I would make money on coin as like a flee to safety, right? Because people would flock to cryptocurrency, and it actually didn't work, right? I actually ended up taking the loss on coin because it didn't work the way I was anticipating it to work. And what's ironic in a way was I was up, I think 10 or 20% on the position. Chart looked good, market looked good, so I held it. I came in, market opened up the following week. I came within, I think, a few ticks of getting filled on my options spread, and I didn't get filled, and I wasn't really paying attention to it, because the more I pay attention, the more likely I'm gonna panic and end up going completely against me, and I stopped out. So,
damn,
you took a loss, but then I made all that back, right? So I wasn't worried. I actually made all that back and then some with the other positions. Just worked out.
incredible, incredible, absolutely incredible.
Now he's up. Now faces up 1,000 ticks.
Man, I sold my shit too early. I had this right here as a target, and I just kept moving my stop up, and I was like, whatever. Sure enough,
Let's see. 14,522. So there's 4 ticks in a. There's 4 ticks in a point. So 1,000.
he got long at like
The bot. He had 22 and 50. 22.5. He's up 252.25 points times 20. He's up 5,000 on one freaking contract. Crazy man.
he what did he get long?
So
Six.
someone posted in the chat that he got long off of fib level 31.8% after he did the retracement from
He got long at 634 yesterday.
no, he's got long this morning.
Oh, he got long again.
Yeah, well, it doesn't show. Well, the point that he got long at was 14,522.5. So if he bought that this morning,
you're on the Dow.
Oh, he's not long the YM anymore.
He's long Nasdaq.
Oh, I thought he was long the YM still.
Oh no, I don't know. He bought 14,522.5 on the Nasdaq. So I thought that was he bought off of that range from yesterday at the end of the day, the top of the range when we came down and retested it. But someone put in there that he did on Fibonacci, that was the 31.8 level, and he bought there.
Bottom ticket.
Literally, he was 5 points away from the bottom.
He is a beast. This guy, dude, he is just clowning everybody. He's unreal. Dude's incredible. I mean, the wick. You know what I mean? Like the wick on a 1 minute chart. You know, Jesus Christ.
You gotta. I don't know if he's marketed in at that point or if he was limiting it. He has, his buy was sitting there with his stop already loaded up. But he was long two at one point, and he definitely sold one. He's got a runner, so.
Oh my God.
And the market just keeps on going. I was actually paying attention to the 4-hour chart to see how it would react at the 50 EMA and the 20 EMA, and it kind of fluttered around the 20, blew through it, fluttered around the 50, blew through it, came back down and retested it, and is right back up on. This is on the 4-hour chart. So either this is going to be the ultimate market fake out, or that was the big, huge sell off that people were so nervous about.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. It's incredible.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow.
It will be. Be very interested to see what happens tomorrow. I mean, I have the huge day yesterday, huge day today in terms of, one way or the other. It's just like, where do we settle out?
Oh, here we go. He says he had a limit order with 10-point stop loss because I knew one more leg up had to come. So he risked 10 to make a freaking 252. So what is that? 2,500%?
Dude is an animal. He is an animal.
That's great.
Oh yeah, man. He is. If there's a bottom or there's a top, I can assure you, Faceless made that bottom or top somewhere, somehow. Unreal. How this guy gets himself in that position over and over and over is. I wish he'd share the secret sauce, though. I can assure you.
Well, I know
make us all better.
If you have order flow on your platform, I don't know if he does or not, but one of the guys that I trade with, he uses order flow on NinjaTrader, which allows you to see all the buys and all the sells, right, on the entire depth of the market as well as what's executed. And he's often told me this is the bottom or this is the top because he'll see an iceberg, right, where someone will come in with massive size on the top or the bottom, and then the selling will start to come in or the buying will start to come in. So he might have order flow, or he's just using his strat, right? And he puts his risk in, and if he gets stopped out, he gets stopped out.
Yeah. Yeah, he does it with some frequency. I mean, it's pretty incredible stuff. And the guy's got the kahunas to hold too. I mean, he's not
Well,
obviously.
yeah. If you think about it, he bought 22 and then it popped all the way up to 88. So he was up big and then it came back down, within, I don't know, 20-ish points from his entry. And at that point, he's like, man, I just gave up 40 points. Holy crap. What am I going to do? And then he held and he's still
Yeah.
holding.
I didn't help. I was just moving my stop up from lower, each lower high, lower high, lower high, and then, whacked on this one here.
The Fibonacci retracement is baseless. So it like technically went down. So I ran it off of the low of like 920, the high of 930 right at the open, and then the low like 2 minutes later. And like I'm wondering if you got in at at 30 37 or 38 when it went down to negative 61.8. This is simply what I have on my chart. Open. Let me see this. Open. Yeah.
Hey, man, good for him. That's all I can say.
Yeah, kudos for sure.
He's a beast.
This is simply what I have in my chart.
Can my caveman brain understand? Is that what you're trying to say? All right. Well, anyways,
Yeah.
Magnum, thanks for everything and sharing. I'm gonna come back out like the close and
Cool, man.
check everything out because I don't think I can grab anything off.
Yeah, they
Listen.
ain't a whole lot going on up in here except just a bunch of people getting squeezed.
Reese.
I think the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, called the market makers and said, "Hey, assholes, I'm still long. Push it back up for me so I can sell my shares."
Yeah, no kidding, right? Sorry, rascals.
Yeah, she's like, "Hurry up, push it back up, and let me sell my stuff, and then go ahead and shit all over it, and I'll buy it back lower."
Yeah, I had to buy it back. No worries. Yeah.
Did anyone read that article that her net wealth grew like 100 or 200 million over during the pandemic? Anyone read that?
I didn't read
public. She's a public official.
I'll tell you, man, that shit just sorry.
How much money do you have to be able to make 100 to 200 million dollars in a year? I mean, holy fuck.
Yeah. And better said, how the hell do you do that on a $200,000 salary or whatever the hell they make? It ain't much. I mean, it's a lot, but it ain't a, you know what I mean?
Man,
in relative terms of a $200 damn million, it's nothing.
I don't know. Crazy. Crazy.
Yeah. I'm gonna catch this phone call real quick. Got to make a phone call real quick, fellas. I'll be right back in a minute.